All right, so let's talk about it. So I watched this Vlad TV interview with Tekashi 6ix9ine, and I watched it because a guy named Scott that I know, I didn't remember who he was for a minute because I hadn't talked to Scott in like maybe 4 or 5 years, something like that. We used to work together, and Scott was real cool. But I remember when I was talking to them, you know, they come to me asking me about the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation. I'm like, man, dude, you know, whatever. However long it was since this Tekashi 6ix9ine situation happened, that's how long ago. I haven't seen Scott, so I don't remember exactly the amount of years, but whatever, 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been. So he was like, yo, man. He's like, yo, Aries is good, man. You know, yo, this, that, whatever, Scott, man, yo, blah, 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 whatever, yo. So I remember who he was, and yeah, so we, you know, talking for a minute. He's just like, yo, you was right. Yo, you always right, man. Yo, I swear, man. Yo, you be telling us stuff, yo, and it's like, we don't always see it right away. Like, you know, it makes sense what you saying, but then, like, time will go by, like, yo, he right. Like, but listen, I've been telling y'all the same things for a lot of different reasons, and I'm used to that happening. So, like I said, I don't preach to people. I just say what I'm going to say. People take it for what it's worth. And so what happens in this video is Tekashi's talking, right, to Vlad about what happened. They're going over things. So you know Vlad, Mr. Paperwork. So they're talking about what happened in the details or whatever. Now, with him being pistol whipped, kidnapped, dude screwing his chick, and all this kind of stuff that was going on, you know, the baby mom giving his address and all that, like, just whatever, dealing with his ops and whatever. My whole thing in that whole situation, it's like, this is what I say about when people hear a few words or read something and they just automatically think they know the whole paragraph or the whole story. That's why I said I can tell people they either hard of hearing or they don't watch a full video. They just hear enough to make them think they have a response. Or they simply just, like I said, they're hard of hearing. They just don't get it. My whole thing with that whole situation wasn't in defense of Tekashi 6ix9ine like he was innocent in terms of him partaking in gang activity and doing. First of all, you're not tough because you rob somebody or because y'all jump somebody. Pretty much cowards is what they're cowards. That's why they do it. Okay, I know people who used to walk up to you, run that shit solo. Used to beat the fuck out of people, and I mean, so what I'm saying, it ain't nothing tough about you. What's tough about pulling a gun on somebody? What's tough about 2 dudes running up on 1 dude with a gun? What's tough about pistol whipping somebody? These motherfuckers can't fight. That's why they do what they do. They don't even know how to throw a punch properly. They don't even know if they can take a punch. But they fight people that's in the same situation as them. A bunch of weeded up, smoked out, drunk, out of shape motherfuckers who think they tough because they walk around with saggy eyes and black lips. You know what I'm saying? And they twist their fingers up wearing bandanas. Big deal. They don't make you tough. Yo, but Tekashi 6ix9ine is just a kid, man. Yo, this motherfucker went to prep school. Yo, man, you're right. They knew that too. Y'all realize that artists are, well, at least at one point, they wanted them to have a certain look. And it probably still happens here and there, but I say that probably because these motherfuckers all look the same to me anyway. All tatted up, bunch of shit all on their teeth and just whatever. But, you know, I remember, for example, I saw an old picture of Run DMC before they were Run DMC. And they had these colorful ass, it looked like white, like blazers, all these fucking colors, like 12 colors in it and shit, like, the fuck? Smiling and shit, whatever. This is before the King of Rock look, before the Rock Box look, before the all black with the Godfather hats and Adidas with the fucking shell toes with no string. They ain't always look like that. I remember Big Daddy Kane telling the story, talking about how when he was trying to get down with the Juice Crew and he had an afro, and Mr. Magic told him, yo, you can rap and all that, but you gotta get rid of that big ass afro, bro, like, or whatever. It's whatever. That's just before the flat top, the parts and all that, right? So what I'm saying is, it's an image, it's a look. Well, Tekashi's look, they obviously thought, okay, this will be distinguishable or whatever. Yeah, all right, yeah, people will be able to, there's nobody else that look like you. All right, cool, whatever. But bottom line, it don't make you a tough guy because you in a gang. I know a lot of pussies that was in a gang. I know a whole lot of bitch-made motherfuckers. That's why they in a gang. Nothing tough about you, man. We saw the footage when Tekashi was in the gym and the dude beat his ass in the bathroom, right? Was he even putting up a fight? Nah, he was laying there covered up on the floor. Wasn't fighting back. And the dude got phone in one hand and beating him with beating him with the other hand. Yeah, so he's not built like that. Like I said, being in a gang doesn't make you tough. But instead of them protecting their investment, right? But anything that I can say that would make sense about what they should have did or how things went, they're gangbangers. Let that sink in. They're fucking gangbangers. All right? So, pretty much, no, they shouldn't have had him in them situations. But he himself decided he wanted to be a blood. He wanted to do what he was doing. He ran around them. They robbed people. They did. Okay, so he basically got what happens. It's a dirty business, bro. What goes around comes around. My whole thing, the defense I had was the fact of, look, these dudes was not loyal to him. He's not that guy that's going to take, even for him to not snitch or whatever, right? Look at what they did to this dude. He'd be a stupid motherfucker to try to protect somebody that, motherfucker, he probably more likely would have ended up being unalived in prison if it would have been a situation where he just went to jail for something. But why would he try to protect people who set him up and tried to unalive him? This was my whole thing. And all I heard a bunch of people talking about, man, if it was me, man, shut your bitch ass up. Y'all always want to talk about what you would do. Nigga, it's not you. Everybody know what they do until it actually happens. And most of these motherfuckers don't get live and get active anyway. It's just a bunch of talk. Just a whole lot of yada, yada, yada. If it was me, yeah, I know. Right. So, the whole thing with the interview, I watched it. I happened to watch it. The details of the case, the information of the case and what happened, it just basically proved what I said from day one. These dudes was not loyal. And they wasn't worth him going to jail over. But he chose a lifestyle that really is not him. And his actions show it's not him. You understand what I'm saying? So, there was a time where we knew when people was just talking. We knew that by yourself, you're not a tough guy. You need people around you. And like I said, what's tough about outnumbering somebody? What's tough about pulling out guns on somebody unarmed? What's tough about that? Y'all motherfuckers not in the gym, keeping in shape, focusing on y'all ain't none of that shit. Y'all just a bunch of I'm drunk all the time. I'm high. Ain't nothing tough about you. Nothing tough about you. But the way they tried to portray these people like he set them up, like they wasn't in the wrong, so we just protect criminals now, huh? Let's act like these motherfuckers didn't do nothing wrong. It was just all him. Like, that was my whole thing. I said, they all played the same dirty game and it came back to him. So if he's wrong for what he did, they wrong for doing what they did. They even more wrong for what they did to him. And that's real. And that's real. And that's the baby mama included. So even when she's saying he was out fucking other bitches and he was doing this and he was doing that or whatever, for you to give the address to people, and then try to play like you don't know what's going on. So he had a whole lot of shit coming from every angle. Now, him thinking that these dudes was his friends, which obviously they wasn't, but he thought they were. It's just what I told y'all before, man. None of these motherfuckers are really friends. They just have the same common interests and they do the same goofy shit. But if you really look at their lifestyle, like what makes them friends, bro, I mean, when it comes to money, people get greedy. And like I always said, when it comes to money, when it comes to women, you see a whole different side of people. You will see these dudes, you'll see how loyal people aren't. So that was my whole thing. Stop trying to make these grown ass men who are older than him. And the thing is, they kept saying he's just a kid. Okay, then why'd you recruit a kid? Why you got a kid running around out here, helping y'all rob people and doing a bunch of gang shit? Yeah, we want to show. We really like that. We ain't just rapping. All right. So, I didn't really hear anything that was, as far as details or whatever. Yeah, it was more things that was said, that was brought out. But I heard enough to know. They always doing, look, when you playing fucking mud, you're going to get dirty. And for the biggest fools will go put on the all white sneakers, all white pants, all white shirt. That they would make sure everything is all white. Then go play in mud, get dirty, and then blame the fucking mud. But it's like, bro, you knew before you got in. This is a dirty game. You can't trust people, bro. That and you look at all these rappers and everybody. 1 minute these motherfuckers twisting their fingers up, taking pictures together. Yo, that's my nigga, yo. Shout out to such and such. Shout out to this one. Shout out to that one. 3 months later, fuck that nigga. He's a bitch, nigga. Fuck that nigga, right? So it's like, it's all the same bullshit all around the board. But his story, you know, I don't really just sit there and watch Vlad and them like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I see certain things. But his story was so, clear cut to me as to what was what. But all these, yo, man, that's called snitching. Yeah, I know. You want to know what's funny? All them dudes that was always talking about snitching, if you notice, all them fucking dudes are always the same ones jumping on a show talking about they got paperwork on somebody. So what the fuck you doing? I ain't snitching. This public records. Why do you even have interest in somebody else's personal business? Is what I'm saying. Why do you even care? We want to prove who's a real gangster and who's not. Well, here's the deal. Out of everything that happened, he has his freedom. The other ones are locked up. Now, is this shit over? Don't know. Will it continue if or whenever they get out? Who knows? But the whole point, bottom line, you playing shit, you're going to get dirty. Real simple. Talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video.